Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Wasteland Talks, my weekly talk show where I talk about whatever the hell I want. And it is that time of year where we're kind of reviewing the year wrapping up, 2024, doing the last episode was my top TV shows. We'll be talking about my top books read in 2024 and my top films, which is always my big bread and butter one because that's what I do here on this YouTube channel. But I do love music as well. And, I get bombarded with my Spotify wrapped, like everybody else with Spotify, and it becomes our personality for like a week or so. And then we just move on. But I do think it'd be fun to talk about like what are those songs that really stuck with me. And I obviously listened to a lot in 2024. I have some holdovers from last year, which I'm not surprised. But this is my first time having a guest, and I figured why not invite one of my friends who's an actual musician and loves music too, and my buddy Corey. Thank you so much for coming on.
Always, Shane. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go through Corey's top 10 most listened to songs from 2024, 10 to 1, and then we'll go through mine. And I am sure you'll have, my guess is you're going to have 20 songs to check out by the end of this. So, but Corey, let's start with your number 10.
All right. So let's see here. One, two, three, four. All
It'd be
right. So,
nice if they numbered them on
well, I'm not
these.
I'm not cool like Shane and have Spotify. So I have the replay. I have Apple Replay. So my
And
number
I'm sure they
10.
didn't number them on there
No,
either.
they did. I'm just going off of a different. I'm going off of the
Oh, so that is
playlist.
one thing that Apple did better than Spotify because this is not numbered. So there you
Uh,
go.
all right, all right. So my number 10 is Journey, and the song is "Be Good to Yourself."
Nice.
Um, I do love Journey. I'm a big Journey
Mhm.
fan.
Yep.
Steve Perry all day.
Yep.
My wife actually just recently, a couple months ago, got to go see Journey live. And they did a show with Def Leppard, and of course they got the new singer and stuff like that, but it's
Nice.
not the same. So,
Yeah.
but a solid song, I think. I'm a big fan of that one.
I I grew up my whole entire life listening to classic rock music before
Same.
college.
Yeah.
So like Journey obviously is a big piece of classic rock radio. It's not usually the one that pops up because it's Don't Stop Believing or I'm a huge fan of Separate Ways. Um
Solid songs.
Barn Rock and one.
There,
Because
Journey is like when I don't know how or why, but just a little tangent.
yeah.
Journey was like the first CD that I got. I wouldn't even know if I got it. It was back when like you could like they just came in the mail. I don't know why, but we like
Mhm.
in the house we had a Journey's Greatest Hits, and I just
Was it the
remember,
red one with like
yeah,
the
yeah.
scare? Well, yeah, I had that one too.
It's like everybody's got that one. So I just remember like one of my earliest memories is just the like the cover of that greatest hits album.
Yeah.
And
To
that started
quote
my passion.
there you go. To quote Wayne's World, paraphrasing a bit, but like he meant like, yeah, in um in my town, everybody had a copy of Frampton Comes Alive. Like everybody had a copy of Journey's Greatest
Greatest,
Hits.
right?
So
That's too good.
nice start here. So what about number 9?
Number 9 is a band, kind of like an alt rock, punky kind of a vibe. The Wonder Years. Amazing band. I'm a really big fan of them, but the song is called Stained Glass Ceilings.
Okay.
And really fun song. It's kind of a more it's a pretty somber kind of just
Hmm.
melodramatic kind of a vibe as they're going through, but it builds up to this awesome little like bridge climax where there's a guest vocalist who comes in who was from the band called Let Live, which is kind
Hmm.
of like a bit more heavier band, and he comes in and he's doing like his gnarly vocals and stuff, but it's a lot of fun. Some of the ideas I get from it, it feels like it wraps around these ideas of talks a lot about like gun violence and stuff like that. So it's a fun song. I like it. It makes you feel things. So that's why I have it.
I don't think I've heard of that one, so I'm gonna have to check that one
Yeah,
out.
they're a fun band. They have an album called Sister Cities that came out maybe
Hmm.
2, 3 years ago. Oh,
Okay.
it's so good. The title track Sister Cities is really good from them too. But I highly recommend Wonder Years.
There you go. Number
Num-
8.
Number eight, Journey again. Who would have like insane? But this one, After the Fall. So a little bit more on the newer side of
Mhm.
Journey, I like to think. But we call this one like our daughter. Like this is her song. Like whenever we play it, it's like we just bestowed it upon her. So,
There you go.
but it's a fun one. I like it a lot, and the
Got to
music video
start
is
them
really
young.
weird. Have you seen the music video for this one where they're like jumping like in slow-mo in like a
I think
window?
so.
It's crazy, dude. Um, where do we at? Number seven, if I
Mhm.
have that. So this one is straightforward hardcore punk music from a band from Canada called Comeback Kid, and they're amazing. I love Comeback Kid so much. They have a song back in the day. Their biggest one was called "Wake the Dead," but this one is off of one of their more recent albums. I think it came out in 2022, and the song is called "No Easy Way Out." And it's a really driving song. I really
Mm.
like it. It's a lot of fun. And again, it's kind of the title is a little weird, but yeah, I think a lot of the messaging behind like hardcore and punk music is very
Mm.
much like of a positive mindset. So it definitely plays to that a lot. So I'm a big fan of that one. Um,
I I'm probably like the least punk person
no,
imaginable.
honestly, you kind of, I mean, in a different way, you are. Because I mean, your grind on your shows and everything, that's punk, dude. Like the way you handle that's what I think.
I've never really gotten into a whole lot of punk music. Like I'll listen to like the Ramones and stuff like that because I will listen to a lot of classic rock music and they're like the most mainstream punk band that you can get. It's like and it has to be under 2 minutes. Or it's not a Ramones song.
Right.
Uh so but I'll have to check out the comebacks as well. So a
Yeah.
couple of songs there to check out so
Yeah.
far. And going to turn in the case game like number 6.
There we
Uh,
go. Yes. So my next one, a band from your neck of the woods originally. I'm curious if you've heard of them. Census Fail. Have you heard of that band at all?
no, I don't think so.
So they're from Jersey,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
originally,
Jersey.
and now here's a bridge connecting us, Shane, is that the vocalist now lives in Flagstaff, Arizona. So
There
look at
you go.
us, look at that. But anyway, so the song is a song off of the album that got me into them. That
Mhm.
really like I don't know, I just found it in my formative years, and this album is. I felt like it was made for me in a lot of cases, but from the album Still Searching, and the song is called Shark Attack. And the vocalist Buddy, he's very much so right. He just like writes from like, he just writes what's on it on the sleeves. He treats it that way. I'm probably really butchering that saying, but this one is a lot about mental health and having to take medication for it, and just the way he was raised, and how he had to deal with a lot of struggles in that sense, and just trying to find a way out of it. And be better as you go through. So that one really stuck to me for Shark Attack. That's a fun song. I like it.
A
That whole
handful
album
of
is just insane. I love it.
have a handful of songs to check out after
There you
this.
go.
And also it's got that Jersey pride. I'll have to
There you
check
go.
out where from New Jersey they are.
Yeah,
In particular.
yeah. I got another one on the list too. Surprisingly, it's crazy. Something about
There you go.
Jersey, I guess. Um,
Number 5.
There you go. Thank you, Casey. The next one is a band no longer around. They were called The Effort. And again, they're kind of
Hmm.
like a hardcore band. And this is from like this interesting, I viewed it as like almost like a concept album where
Okay.
it's a lot about like of like World War II and like stories from that, and but then also sprinkling in a lot of the new age political
Hmm.
ideas. Very much so around because this came out, geez, 2000. I found this in like 2012 in that kind
Hmm.
of time span. So all the political things happening there. But the song is called 1958, and it's just a lot about dealing with just how you go about things, how you interpret things, and how you talk about it. So it's a fun song. I think that whole album is really good. It's called Wartime Citizen is what the album's called. But the song 1958 is probably the one that I really gravitated to the most.
One
It's
more
a
to
lot of
add
fun.
on to the onto the listen list.
You got more. You got more. So
Number
number
four.
number four. So this is the band. They're called Can't Swim.
Okay.
Um, Can't Swim, a similar fashion. I would say they're a bit more on like the emo spectrum, if you will. Definitely heavy. They kind of had some weird lulls and things like that, but I think they had one album that came out, and I'm blanking on the name of it, but I found it at a certain point in my life where every song just resonated, just boom, every song. But this one is off of their more recent album, and it's the title track, I believe so, called "Thanks But No Thanks." And this one is actually like the last song on the album. It's definitely a closer, so very much so like drawn down. It's supposed to like bring the vibes down a lot. Um, and really, it's a story of like a breakup, really. So
Hmm.
it's a good song. It makes you feel. They're a band that really makes me, at least, like the emotions
Hmm.
really hit for me. So they're a fun band.
I did look them up, and they're from the mythical Central Jersey. So there you go.
There we go.
You only believe
My
in Central Jersey if you've been there or lived there. Uh, it's not
they're
what
just
I
from the
was taught.
woods.
It's not what I was taught growing up in South Jersey. There was only South and North Jersey. But there's some Monmouth County boys. There you
Love
go.
it.
Number
Uh,
three.
Number three. So this one is I think because I don't know too much about this artist. I think they're just a dude that makes music, but like and throws it on YouTube or something like that. And
Mhm.
I found out about this song because at the beginning of the year I was watching a lot of Twitch for some reason, but I was really
Mhm.
watching what's his name? Thomas Middleton, the actor. He has a Twitch channel and he's from Silicon Valley and stuff like that.
Oh,
And he does all those crazy like X-Men parodies with Pete Holmes and stuff. He's
nice.
hilarious. So he has a Twitch channel and he was playing like a role play Grand Theft Auto thing, and he would
Mm,
kept as he was driving, he would play this song, and I was like, dang, this is like it was very much so. It felt like a Journey song to me. I was
yeah.
like, who is this? And I looked it up, and it's a song called "I Won't Stop Now," and the artist is called Nikki G, and it's just like it's just got a groove on it, and it's just like this driving like E chord if I got it right when I was trying to play it. But it's a lot of fun. It's a fun little tune, a fun little
It's
tune.
it's interesting like having those moments where like that song like crawls up into your brain and then it's just
Right.
there. And watching Thomas Middleditch playing
That's
on
it.
Twitch, there you go.
There it is.
There it
Yes,
is.
yeah, he was a riot, man. I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe I'll venture back that way.
There you go.
All right, number two.
Two.
So this is a very fun band. They're called Stray from the Path, and they are
Mm,
heavy, just hardcore punk again, as I do. But they're interesting because at least for me, when they started out, they were just a straightforward hardcore band playing. But then like as time progressed and just a lot of things happened, they kind of turned into this like new age Rage Against the Machine.
mm.
And so very politically heavy, very big on like calling out religions and things like that, and doing stuff of that. Very big on sticking it to the man in a lot of cases. But this song, I think more so this year, kind of resonated with me because it's called "Good
Mm.
Night, All Right." So it's a lot of just like their messaging in it is like if you're gonna preach hate, then expect it. Like we're gonna take it on that way, and I'm definitely cool
You
with
know, if you're
that.
an asshole, don't expect
Exactly.
people to
Expect,
like you.
yeah, don't be expected to be, worshipped. Um, so it's a lot of that and just,
Interesting.
so I like that. I think it's a fun for me kind of political view, at least how I see myself as is leaning heavily left. And so it's a good one, especially in the times of now. It feels even more so. It's like this weird pump up song, and it's like I'm gonna run through a wall for these guys to do some good, at least in
Give
my
us all
eyes.
the stick it to the monitis.
Exactly, exactly.
And you're number one of
Oh man.
2024.
So, Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy
Yes.
Train.
Yes.
So the reason behind this is because when my wife had originally so I think this was similar to you, like a carryover song
Yeah.
from the other year. So when my wife had gone into labor, to have our daughter. She was, she's like, and she made I caught this photo of her. This is, she's gonna hate that I'm saying this, but I took a photo and she's like in pain and she's in labor. And I'm like, it looks very eerily to the cover of, what was it? One of the covers of an Ozzy album. And for some reason I kept like playing
Was it
Crazy
Diary of a
Train.
Madman?
It might have been. I can't remember, but so no, it was Bark at the Moon.
Oh, Bark
And
of the
so
Moon.
but
There you
then
go.
it kind of
Ugh.
leaned into it and then yeah. And so and then for some reason I kept playing Crazy Train even throughout her like pregnancy. She's like, turn
Oh,
that shit off. And I'm like, but and then I started playing it on guitar. So it just became like an in joke that now has become my number one song played. So
such an amazing riff. Randy Rhoads,
oh my gosh, dude.
just incredible. I am a big classic hard rock and classic metal fan. And it's hard to argue with the Ozman.
Right?
Oz, Ozman cometh. And Crazy Train is just such a great song. It's so catchy. And it's like still really impressive despite the fact that it's such like a mainstream metal song.
Right.
And I, I don't know if you've seen this, but the internet can do wonders sometimes. And they overlaid it with September from Earth, Wind, and Fire.
That's amazing.
Look
I'm
it
gonna have
up.
to look that up.
It is so much fun. And it fits so well in the most weird way possible. Which
I
you
love
will
it.
not get this from my list because there's very little hard rock or heavy metal music on this particular list. But I am a big fan of that. And, whether it's Black Sabbath, whether it's Ozzy on his own,
Right.
just so many great, like, he had a streak there in the 80s where he had
Oh my,
amazing album after album
just
after album.
going.
And he single-handedly found so many great guitarists too. Zach Wild. I'm a big Black Label Society
Oh, right on.
fan. Went to one of their concerts, have one of their records on vinyl.
There you go.
Um, I stuck out like a sore thumb. Um, not as bad as my buddy Steve, who showed up in a polo and khaki shorts.
Oof.
I'm like, I at least had a leather jacket on. I'm like,
There you
dude,
go.
Steve, read the room, man.
I love it.
That
I
mosh
love
was
it.
getting crazy though. We like I'm like
Oh, dude.
and this is why I get seats when I go to concerts. Uh, I'm too old for this shit.
Exactly.
But no, Ozzy's great, and Crazy Train is just such a classic heavy metal song.
Yeah,
So
and it's like
good.
more that I was listening to it. Granted, it was kind of a joke at the beginning, but it's like, oh,
Yes.
and you start. I'm like, whoa, okay. And then of course I had to take it to the next level and learn how to play it. I can't play it anywhere near how Randy Rhoads is playing, nor am I
Yeah.
even trying to play the solos on this. But just the main riff is, it was, it's just enough
Mhm.
complicated in a sense to where it's like, wow, you're like, it makes you feel like you're really playing something. And then
Mhm.
just the overall the melody that comes from it is stellar. It's a lot of fun. I love it.
Absolutely. I do not have to add that to my listen list, but I will listen to it all the time anyway. But so my list, very different vibe. I'm very much kind of person that like I love a lot of different kinds of music, but I think recently the kinds of songs that I listen to a lot on repeat are like vibe of like I want to move, I want to dance, I want to have like a
Heck
smile
yeah.
on my face kind of thing. So nothing embodies that more than my number 10, which is Dancing Queen by ABBA.
There you
Um,
go.
because I don't think there is a band who better represents pure joy in music than ABBA. And from when this is silly, I was a big Get Smart fan, the Steve Carell movie when that came out. Him listening to ABBA on his way to work was just a vibe. And, sometimes you just need a little bit of ABBA. And Dancing Queen is like that and Mamma Mia are like classic ABBA. They're like the ABBA songs that you're gonna pick. It's just such a fun time for sure. So that's my number 10.
think I had something on that one. Didn't Ghost cover a song by them? Like just you recently watching that
Yeah, I
made me
would not
think
be surprised. And they would add quite an interesting twist on it.
maybe I'm wrong.
Speaking of heavier twist on a classic song, so if I'm not mistaken, Zombie was originally from the Cranberries.
Ooh.
And this song, the cover by Bad Wolves, played on repeat on 93.3 WMMR Rocks, the rock station out of Philly. And this got stuck in my head, and it's like somber, somber,
I don't think
and
I've
just have like
Bad
that.
Wolves? I don't think I've heard of them.
It just has that like heavier edge to the
Heck
song
yeah.
because like obviously you lose out on the and their bombs and their guns and but like instead it's just like very deep
Gut
bassy
roll, yeah.
metal singer doing it instead. So that's probably the heaviest my list is gonna get, but that's my number 9
I
is
love it.
Zombie by Bad Wolves. I am a huge Dua Lipa fan. I love Dua Lipa, and she is so talented. And I think I first really heard about who Dua Lipa was by listening to what was that? I think it was on Apple TV Plus. Um, it was either that or Netflix. It was like a song exploder or something like that.
Mhm.
And like I remember her talking about like getting bullied a lot when she was younger because
Oh
she had a
wow.
huskier voice for a woman. And I'm like, how dare you? And now it's like,
This cruel world.
can you imagine you were a bully to Dua Lipa?
That was
And I've become a huge fan, and
that's
there's
awesome.
at least there's two songs from Dua Lipa on here.
Oh, right
But
on.
training season this year, that Radical Optimism killed it. There was so many great singles off of that album, and training season was definitely one of them. And I listened to that a lot when that came
I'll have
out.
to listen to it, yeah.
It just I love what she's doing with music. Which yes, like her one of her biggest albums is called future nostalgia. So like obviously she's bringing back like vibes from like
Right.
70s and stuff like that. And people are like, she's like just basically like doing old school music. Like, yeah, no shit. That's why I love it.
Did,
Leave Dua
did you
Lipa
see the
alone.
album title? Sir.
Exactly. That's what my wife said. She's like, did you not see the name of the album? It's called Future Nostalgia. You didn't get the memo. But no, trading season has just such a great beat to it. And there's like a bit of an aggression to it too. And it's just like
Heck
a
yeah.
strong song. I'm like, yeah, Dua. And she has just an amazing voice too.
Hmm.
This is my number 7 is like my pure joy song, and that's the Rubber Band Man by the Spinners. Um,
I have not heard the song nor the band or
I
artist.
am a huge Motown fan and like 60s and 70s R&B and like that kind of music. And the Spinners were out of Philadelphia, so they weren't like Motown, they weren't out of Detroit and stuff like
Right.
that. But I love their music. And the Rubber Band Man is such a silly song because it's literally about like a dance with rubber bands. And like, there's not a whole lot of depth to the idea of the song, but
Don't
it
need to be.
just,
Yeah.
I remember hearing it for the first time. I used to watch old infomercials on DirecTV at my grandparents' house because, like, I grew up with my grandparents.
Yeah.
I lived with my grandparents for like 20 years of my life, and they used to have the midnight special infomercials, this old late night music and comedy show. And I remember seeing the Spinners performing Rubber Band Man
That's
in their
awesome.
sequins powder blue suits. And like the lead singer on this had the most amazing like Franz Joseph mutton chops and everything and an afro and it was just beautiful.
Love
And the
it.
song is so upbeat and it's so funny because I remember sitting watching Avengers Infinity War in theaters and when they introduced the Guardians it's to Rubber Band Man.
Oh, that's
It's like
awesome.
a doom 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 and I'm just like you ever watch like a movie
You're
you're
all
just
like
like
just knocking the person next to you.
like I love this song And because like it's one of those times where it's like I love the song and it popped up in a movie.
That's awesome.
So love the Rubber Band Man. My number six is a song that I from a movie, and that is "Murder on the Dance Floor" by Sophie Ellis Bextor. Because I had never heard the song before until I had to watch Barry Keoghan dance naked through a mansion at the end of Saltburn, and I'm like, it's one of those moments where like you should really be distracted by Barry Keoghan's bare ass dancing around this mansion, but I'm like, this song's really great.
You're all Googling it. Yeah.
And I remember seeing because like Sophie Ellis Bextor, that was like a one hit kind of thing in the early 2000s. But her getting a chance to play that at the BAFTAs
Oh
this
man. Oh my
year
God. That's
because of
awesome.
Saltburn
Don't you love
made it
that?
so popular again. She got it was just like running up that hill because of
Yeah. I
Stranger
was
Things.
that my brain went right there.
She killed it at the BAFTAs. I'm like, this was great. It has that. If you couldn't tell from the title, "Murder on the Dance Floor," it is like very much like this like 70s style like disco
Right.
kind of thing, but like has that 2000s kind of tinge to it, and it is so infectious. And if I just want to like feel good, I'll throw that on.
Love it.
So,
That's awesome, dude.
my number five samples an ABBA song, but it's a Madonna song, and that's "Hung Up."
Dang, all right.
Um, which
I'm loving your list. This is great.
I distinctly remember this song being like I remember this song coming out, and I remember this music video because it's like a roller derby, disco, like dance and
Totally. Oh my
everything,
goodness. Yeah.
and it samples "Money, Money, Money" by ABBA. And it just has such a great beat to it. And I was never a big Madonna fan,
Yeah.
but like this was that first song where like
I get
I'm digging
it.
this. I really like this song. And I don't think I ever listened to another Madonna song regularly ever again until Deadpool and Wolverine got
True. Very true.
like a prayer stuck in my head because
Oh
of that
man, that
damn
was
trailer.
everywhere.
It was everywhere. But no, Hung Up is such a great song, and a lot of these are on this list because of my mix CD that I made for Mike's show because we did a roller derby,
I was gonna say
and
it's very eerie similar.
yes,
The
and
vibe.
I think I listened to that 15 times after I
That's
made it
awesome.
specifically to talk about it. My number four was last year's number one on my Spotify, which was "Dance the Night" by Dua Lipa from Barbie.
Right on.
I just remember this song coming out and being like, "This is everything I want out of like a song from 2023, bringing back disco." And I really loved that Barbie soundtrack. A lot of those songs were especially my vibe, and I wanted "I'm Just Ken" to win the Oscar for Best Original Song because
Same.
that was so damn fun. And that was, I think, legitimately the most entertaining musical performance of an original
It
song
was
at the
great.
Oscars
Yeah.
ever. But like you could have just had five nominees from this album. Like you could have just had five nominees from Barbie and they all would have been worth it. And this one, I think, got nominated because of Dua Lipa, but obviously Billie Eilish won. It had a much more emotional weight. This one's just fun. Like, there's not a whole lot of depth to Dance the Night,
Right.
and I think that's the purpose. And do I clap along to it every time? Yes. Even when I'm driving, I like slap the side of my thigh to it while I'm
You
driving
know the
because
dance.
that's more responsible than me clapping while I'm trying to go drive. Um, my number three is "My Way" from Frank Sinatra. So
Oh,
I would not be a self-respecting Italian if I didn't listen to Frank.
that's your alarm clock.
I'm pretty sure my grandfather only owned CDs that were Frank Sinatra, and Andrea Bocelli. I'm pretty sure he did not own another CD. Maybe Dean Martin was there too. But like most of them were Frank Sinatra. And like my grandfather was a 70 to in his 80-year-old Italian man, son of two Italian immigrants. So like
Awesome.
I question an Italian American restaurant if I walk in and they're not playing Frank Sinatra because
This
I'm a little concerned that this is
is
not authentic. And this song, like obviously this is like very old school, like boomer masculinity kind of song, but you can still take it in the spirit of, you know what? You have to live your life
yeah,
your way. And obviously, don't be an asshole about it. Some people will.
yeah.
I would like to not be. But I distinctly remember I finally broke off a relationship that I was in for months too long.
Mm,
And the first thing I did was get in the car and blast my way.
I love that. That's such a good
Sinatra.
story, man.
But like I just love because like I've never really learned how to play an instrument. I never really trained my voice to sing, but I do love to sing along to things. And I'm very much a bass. And I very much more in that crooner territory. So like I will sing some Frank in the car. And this
I
is
love
definitely
it.
one of those go-to ones. And it just can't go wrong with some Frank Sinatra.
That's a solid
Classic.
number three.
So my number two is actually my one of my favorite songs, and that is Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel.
Heck yeah. Heck
This
yes.
was my number one request at my wedding to the DJ. He played it the fifth to last song at the reception. So like they're
Oh,
like there or wanted to dance when it came on. But I did we got a request for my friend Haley's wedding back in October. And
heck
what
yeah.
did I request? It was Sledgehammer. This song has some of the funniest all in sexual euphemisms you're gonna find in a song because that's literally the whole song.
It's called Sledgehammer. I mean,
I wonder what he's talking about. And Peter Gabriel is such a unique and interesting
very much
performer.
so.
And
Yeah.
the fact that he made a song called Sledgehammer about his dick and all of these sexual innuendos he makes, I can't. It's just perfect. And the beat to it, just start from the whoa, whoa. It's just like that beginning, like setting the stage, and you're like, when it comes on in the car, I'm just like, it's gonna happen. And then it comes slamming in.
Mm.
Um, and the dance, like I've watched so many live performances of this because the dance he does with like his legs and stuff like that, and obviously pelvic thrusting along to the song. It's a vibe.
I love
It's
it.
just so much fun. I love it. It's not the most deep Peter Gabriel song, which there are many,
It-
but it is the most fun.
but it is fun.
So we're gonna go with that. And my number one, and this is from a movie, and listened to it 80 times apparently, according to
Whoa.
Spotify, and that is Electric Energy. So this was a collaboration from the Argyle soundtrack, and this
Okay.
song is so much better than the at the end of the day. I enjoy Argyle. It is a hot mess.
Yeah.
But this collaboration of Ariana DeBose, which, side note, those assholes that made those jokes at the Critics' Choice Awards about Billie Eilish and Dua Lipa being real artists and then a bunch of actors who think they're singers.
Ugh.
Ariana DeBose is a Broadway performer, was in Hamilton, and can legit sing. So whoever
Someone
made
didn't do
that
their
joke
homework.
is
Yeah.
an asshole. So it's Ariana DeBose, it's Boy George,
Oh, heck yes.
and Nile Rodgers from Earth, Wind, and Fire on bass. Because the bass in this is great. And this just has such a funky beat.
I
And
love
just
it.
the duet of Ariana DeBose and Boy George together is just so good. And, sometimes you just need that electric energy.
Heck yes. I love it.
I was disappointed that Dua Lipa didn't have a song in Argyle because she was literally in it. She starred in it. Um, I was disappointed to find out that she was only in it for like 5 minutes. But in a 2 hour and 20-minute movie, like you couldn't fit any more Dua Lipa into this, you jerks. And like Ariana DeBose is in it less, which was also really
Interesting.
disappointing.
Yeah,
But her songs were there, and there's a great action sequence with electric energy to it. So
I love
yeah,
it.
I think the theme of mine this year is fun, and I certainly have some fun with my
I think
list
mine's the
here.
opposite.
Hey, that's fair. And just throwing out, I know a couple other, like a handful of like uh honorable mentions. Woke up this morning because yes, I listened to the Sopranos theme song a lot.
There you
Um,
go.
my favorite song to sing to my wife, which is "Time in a Bottle," because Jim Croce is just perfection. I'm Still Standing by Elton John. I listen to a lot of
That's
Elton
a
John.
that's a good song.
Houdini, another one of Dua Lipa's new songs. Suspicious Minds from Elvis, my favorite Elvis song. And Scenes from an Italian Restaurant from Billy Joel, because that
I was like,
song
I
is
hadn't
a
heard of that one.
it is like a 10-minute opus of a song. And yes, it's very Italian, very New York, very New Jersey.
Love
And
it.
then December 1963, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Because also Italian people love them Frankie Valli and the Jersey Boys. So represent
And they're still going at
still
it.
going. I would love to see the show Jersey Boys instead of only knowing the Clint Eastwood movie,
Yeah.
which
I haven't seen it, but
I
it's a
get
movie.
I get Clint Eastwood directing a mafia elements of it because
Yeah.
Italian people, of course, there had to be part of that. But like when they're like performing, I'm like, I think Clint Eastwood's the best director to be like directing music performances and stuff like that. Because like his whole entire vibe is very like desaturated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is Jersey Boys. Like, this has to be like vibrant.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with this
What's
picture?
going on here?
Christopher Walken did play a mafioso though. So there you go. But no,
Some
so
fun
well, a
stuff.
lot of interesting songs for everybody.
Oh
Hopefully
yeah.
you enjoyed this list. But Corey, thank you so much for coming on and chatting some music with me.
Thank you, Shane. Always a pleasure, man.
And hopefully all of you have a bunch of songs to add to your playlist. How many of you are big Dua Lipa fans like I am and probably listened to all those songs already? But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.